Can't read my, no, he can't read my poker face. He says, welcome to the OC, bitch.
What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said, let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best podcast.
What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
That's just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said, let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to What You Say, an OC podcast. My name is Lise Daly.
And I'm Scott Daly.
And together,
We're the Dailies. Yes, this is the podcast where each and every week we find the secret Texas Hold'em game and gamble all our money away while watching The OC. This week we had season 1, episode 26, The Strip, on in the background.
Yes, Scott, but
Why
before...
did we have it on in the background?
Because we always watch The OC, or we don't watch it, it's just we always have it on in the background every time we play card games.
Oh,
and gamble our money
like
away.
A card game. I get it. I get what you were doing there. It just didn't make any sense.
It made sense. You just wanted to make it sound like it didn't make sense.
You know,
because all you like to do is just degrade me.
Oh my God. You know, sometimes you just got to let the facade of the podcast stand up. We don't have to analyze every facade facet. Faceted.
Scott, before we argue with each other some more, it's time to talk about our favorite part of this podcast. It's everyone's favorite section, the Rosies and the Thornies.
You know, you keep saying that, but I hope it's not everyone's favorite part of the show. It's like 1/16 of the show.
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite part.
Every rose has its thorn.
Has its thorn.
Just like every night has its dawn.
Dawn, dawn, dawn.
Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. Yeah. Jesus.
Everyone likes to learn about us more than they like to learn about the show. Okay, Scott, so this is the part of the podcast where you and I, we look back on the week and we talk about the good, the bad, the Rosies, the Thornies. And as always, Scott, we talk about the bad first. So what was your thorn?
So I have a story to tell.
Okay.
I am
Let's
a dedicated, loyal employee of my day job.
You are indeed.
I work hard.
You do?
And sometimes I like to bring my work home with me.
Bring home the bacon.
No, that's not what I mean.
But you do that too.
I do. I mean, I did go buy us some bacon the other day.
No, I bought us some bacon.
Well, but I brought the bacon to get the bacon. Like, you went there and you're like, I got some bacon. Can I exchange this for some bacon?
But it's not even real bacon. It's turkey bacon.
Can I exchange the bacon I brought home for the bacon of the turkey? And they said, no, you have to give us...
If you bacon enough money, sure.
If you bacon enough money? Ugh, no. I just want to move on now.
Okay,
I was going to
ahead.
go a whole bit, but we're moving on.
Okay.
The point is, I brought my work laptop home with me this past weekend because I was just dedicated. Honestly, it's because I left work at noon on Friday and I knew I had work to do, so I brought it home to work from home. I forgot, and I drove all the way to work this morning.
Tisk tisk.
Sat down on my desk, went to boot up my computer, and
Oh,
then
you
said-
got that far?
Yeah, I was at my desk.
Oh, that's awful. You didn't tell me that.
I was at my desk. And then I went to pull out, because I keep my computer in a locked drawer, because I'm a good security professional.
You're an IT guy.
And so I stuck the key in my drawer, I unlocked it, I opened the drawer, no computer in the drawer. And luckily,
that would be awful.
I have enough memory to where I didn't immediately go, oh shit, somebody stole my computer. It's just, I went, oh yeah, I remember. I took my computer home with me this weekend. In fact, I saw it on Sunday while I was recording a podcast and made a mental note that said, hey, don't forget that tomorrow. And then I did.
Do you not have another computer at work that you can work off of with everything on it?
What?
Is that the only computer that you have at work?
Yeah. I don't get multiple computers.
You don't have a desktop at work?
No.
Oh, it's just that computer?
Yeah, that's my computer. That's my work computer.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't work in fancy places that allows me to have a desktop and a laptop.
Yep. I've got them both. It's not a laptop, though. It's a Chromebook, and it's not very good.
It's a laptop.
Well, yes, I have 2 devices, but one of them is not very good.
I have one device, and I left it at home, so I had to go home and get it. And then
That's a bummer.
I stayed here. So my thorn turned into a happy thorn.
Yeah.
What was your thorn?
So I love you dearly, Scott, and I was so excited to go.
You know, I'll tell you what a story is not going to end well for you when you're in a marriage.
No, I do. I love you dearly.
When the story starts with, "I love you dearly," that is not.
No, I do. I love you dearly, and you love me so much that you wanted to take me out for a nice Valentine's Day dinner.
Uh-huh.
And there's this place that we like that's close to us that we went to last year.
Yeah, they got sushi there.
And we get sushi, and it's delicious sushi, except we found out last year that they don't take reservations. And so we thought, it's fine. They don't open till 5:30. They don't take reservations. It'll be okay. We'll be there at 5:30 and all will be fine.
We'll just walk in. We'll sit right down.
Scott, all was not fine. And while they say that it opens at 5:30 and they don't take reservations, what they fail to say is that people are literally mobbed outside of the front of the entrance at God knows what time, waiting for the doors to open at 5:30. And it's just a handwritten note, like list, handwritten on the back of one of those guest check things that the waiters use. And I mean, this is a nice sushi restaurant place. It's authentic. It's really delicious. And yet, in the year 2020, they are still just writing it down, pen and paper, and using these like
There's just a piece of
numbers
plastic
written
with
on
a number
plastic
written on it. Yeah.
as their method.
There was some sort of way to like reserve your spot.
Yeah, because I guarantee you that if they had done reservations, they still would have been completely booked.
Yeah.
And they probably could have had more people in because you think about like how much time it takes.
How many people they lost.
Yeah.
Because when they said it's going to be an hour and a half and the people went, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we ended up getting a spot and that was all fine and dandy. But I was just really upset.
You know what this means for next year?
We got to show up at 4:30.
No, got to show up at 8 a.m. Be first in line.
Okay, you'll just wait all day.
We'll camp out. That was good sushi, though, babe. That was good sushi.
Oh, it was so good. It's delicious. I mean, it was fine. And then we ended up getting to go sit in the back room, which I hadn't done before, with the authentic tables that, had the sunken floor.
Yeah, I thought I was going to have to sit on the floor.
I thought I was going to have to sit cross-legged, too.
It's going to be not happy.
Yeah, I was going to be really
I can't
upset.
sit cross-legged for an hour. I'm an old man.
Yeah, that would have been very uncomfortable.
No, it was good.
It's okay. Yeah.
But, yeah, I love that place, but they got to take reservations.
Yeah, they really need to. Especially just one day a year.
Yeah, Valentine's Day.
Just think about one day where you can take reservations.
I would have called 3 months in advance because that's how dedicated I am to
I know
the
you really would
Valentines.
have. You really would have if that's where I wanted to. Oh, well, I would have done it for us. It's fine. Okay, so Scott, let's move on to our combined
joint
Rosie for this week. It is our second annual sibling. I'm calling it sibling now because we got both sides to come together.
My sister showed up. Yep.
Yeah, sibling movie marathon extravaganza. Last year, we watched all of the director's cut of The Lord of the Rings back to back to back.
I believe they're called the extended edition.
Whatever. And this year, it was Keanu. It was not just one trilogy. It was just Keanu. And really, we should have just watched tons of Keanu. We should have started with like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the really great one.
Okay, at least we watched 6 movies in one day. Like, we watched the John Wick trilogy.
I watched 4, let's be real.
Yeah. We watched
4.5.
We watched the John Wick trilogy, and then we watched the Matrix trilogy. And I gotta say, like, first of all, this was so much fun. Like you said, we started doing this last year. It's gonna be a thing we do now. Yeah. I am very impressed with our ability to get through all 6 movies.
Yeah.
Because when you guys approached me with this idea again and said, well, we're gonna watch the John Wick movies and the Matrix movies, in the back of my head I was like, no, we're not. We'll get through one of those trilogies and maybe one movie of the other.
Never underestimate my sisters.
We did it. I mean, you didn't do it. You were out.
I didn't do it.
You were out. You missed the entire of the third Matrix movie.
The third Matrix movie can be completely missed.
You know what?
It's not good.
I like it.
No, you don't.
I do.
No.
I do.
No.
It's not a great movie. The first one is clearly the best, but
Yes.
it's a good movie. I
See,
like it.
the Matrix movies, they start strong and then they decrease. John Wick, it starts strong and it doesn't like completely decrease with each movie. It might like slightly go down and then plateau, but it's still at a very high plateau. I mean, like all 3 John Wick movies, they're real good.
I think the thing I enjoyed the most was seeing your sister's reactions to the John Wick fight scene.
Yeah.
That was really great.
There's the one
The
where
knife
Meredith
scene in
just
John
goes,
Wick 3. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that on her face. It was awesome.
The knife sequence in John Wick 3 is the greatest thing of all time. And it holds up so much.
It was real good. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was Keanu. Keanu made our weekend great.
It did.
And then what rounded out our weekend was watching the OC, the next to last episode in season 1.
I believe they call that the penultimate.
I guess they do.
Before the ultimate. Yeah, this is episode 26. Tell me about it.
26 of 27, called The Strip. The Strip is the 26th episode of season 1. The OC was written by Alan Heinberg, who will contribute 2 more writing credits throughout the series run. And this episode was directed by James Marshall, who previously directed episode 12, The Secret.
Ooh.
It originally aired April 28th, 2004. And might I add, I forgot. And this is completely my fault. As I was listening back to last week's episode, and as I was continuing to watch the credits with this week's episode, I did not even bring to everyone's attention who JJ Philbin is.
I'm sorry, what?
JJ Philbin.
Who's JJ Philbin?
I think she wrote the last one, and then she also is a producer for the show. You might know her father. He's a man by the
Regis?
name of Regis.
Regis?
Yes, it's Regis Philbin's daughter.
Oh, wow.
Works on the OC. Yeah.
Works. This was
Worked.
literally 16 years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. So
Well,
anytime you see JJ Philbin, that's who that is.
I can't wait to see old Double J
Reg.
Philbs.
Yeah, no, he doesn't ever get on the show, sadly. But, you know. Okay, so
Spoilers.
Scott, tell me the summary. Or if he does, I don't remember it. Episode 26.
The Coen men, along with Ryan and Caleb, set out to visit Las Vegas for a bachelor party. Meanwhile, the girls are having fun with their own adventures. Jimmy and Sandy learn Caleb's true motives. Haley devises a plan in an attempt to get Caleb to break it off with Julie. Marissa spends the night with Teresa and discovers something that might affect her. What?
Okay, so let me just say.
What?
First of all, okay, this is awful, but the first summary that I pulled up from IMDb was literally 1 sentence long.
What was it?
It was like, the Coen men go to Vegas and the girls have some fun back home.
I think that'd be better than this.
And that was it. And I was like, oh, there's not even any. So anyways, this is off of the OC Wiki. A slightly elaborated, still awful summary.
Just bad.
Yeah. Okay. Overall thoughts.
Marissa spends the night with Teresa and discovers something that might affect her. I mean...
Yeah,
I guess
think
that's
it
technically
does.
true. What'd you think of this episode?
Seth Cohen in the Vegas is just like the best thing ever.
What is with the writing room of the show pronouncing
Vegas?
the article in front
The
of everything?
Strip?
The Nana.
The Coens?
Vegas.
It's
the
a thing.
Coens.
It's a thing, Scott. Just
Every
let it be a
episode
thing.
title has a "the" in front of it.
Yeah, it's a
Why
thing.
didn't they just call it the Vegas?
Because you can't.
What do you
Because-
mean you can't?
You know, back home, it's always about those double stories. The Vegas Strip,
Oh, I see what you
the Julie Strip.
The strippers.
The Strip.
The strip on
Yeah.
the pregnancy test that says yes,
Ah,
pregnant.
yeah, there you go again. That's another strip.
Yeah, yeah.
Never seen that strip before.
Praise God.
Woo, hallelujah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Like for a penultimate episode, I was hoping for more.
Not enough cliffhanger for you.
Well, like the weird thing, I mean, like the big cliffhanger is the Teresa pregnancy thing, which Ryan finds out about at the very end of the show. And he's going to obviously be Ryan about that.
Meaning he will.
Well, you want me to go right into predictions?
Well,
Let's do
yeah.
the show first.
Fine.
I was a little like, as much as I'm glad that Summer and Seth like got through their shit, I was a little surprised at how kind of just quickly it resolved that whole thing. It's just like she's like was upset about it, and then she just got over it, and then that was it. She was upset that her dad doesn't like her boyfriend, and she was sad about it, and then she just decided, yeah, I'm being a little ridiculous. I'm over it now. And maybe there'll be more to it. I don't know. It just felt like it's weird that this was a big plot point in the last episode, and this one is just like, yeah, yada yada, we fixed it.
Yeah.
Especially since Seth makes out with a hooker over the course of the episode.
Spoilers.
I have to once again. You cannot. It happens in the episode.
Let's just get going. Okay, so we open the episode and Ryan and Seth are having their slumber party. They're sharing a room and Ryan's on the floor because there are no other beds in the household.
It really
Let's just point that out.
That they are continuing to hold up this absolute lie that this giant fucking house is apparently a 2-bedroom house with a pool house.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
It's true. Well, Seth can't sleep and he wakes up Ryan to talk about girl problems.
What else is new? It's the OC.
Yeah.
If you don't have girl problems, you have boy problems.
And eventually Seth brings up the point about Ryan and Teresa and Ryan not knowing when Teresa's going to leave. So they need to go talk to Teresa, which prompts them to go to the pool house to talk to Teresa.
What time do you think it is at this point?
Probably 4 a.m.
A.m.?
Yeah.
4 a.m.?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I didn't think it... Remember when Ryan snuck out at like 9:30 at night? I'm thinking it's probably like 11:05 tops. Isn't Teresa still awake?
Well, no. See, here's why I'm saying it's 4 a.m. Because she picked up a morning shift at the bakery and it looked like she was getting ready to go into the bakery for the morning shift.
I thought she just got home from a late night shift.
Oh, no. I thought she was going into her morning shift.
Man, we're never going to get answers to these extremely important questions.
Anyways, yeah. So Teresa is already there and she... I thought was getting ready for her morning shift at the bakery. Maybe she's getting home from her late night shift at the bakery. Who knows? Regardless, she's going to and from the bakery.
But it's awkward.
But she's her own bakery, isn't she?
Well, first of all, they have an awkward conversation where Ryan's like, hey, maybe we could hang out today. And she's like, no, I have to go work. And then Ryan's like, okay, well, maybe afterwards.
That's later.
And Marissa, too.
That's later. That's not right now.
So what do they talk about in the morning?
They're talking about when she's like gonna stay and what her plan is. And she's like, I've got to go earn money at the bakery. And they're like, okay. And then they leave. And then when they're alone, then Teresa pulls out the pregnancy test.
Okay. And that's you. I don't know why I understand why you're whispering right now.
I'm not whispering.
Yes, you are. I can see on the thing. And Teresa pulls out the pregnancy test.
And then California.
Peeing on a stick. Peeing on a stick. Peeing on a stick.
Yeah.
Teresa's peeing on a stick.
Yeah. So cliffhanger, we don't know what's going to happen after she pees on that stick, but now you do
we do.
because Scott spoiled the bun in the oven.
Let me tell you something that always happens on television shows.
Okay, tell me.
If there's a pregnancy test from an oopsies, it's going to be positive.
Now here's the deal too. If a woman goes into the bathroom and throws up and says she doesn't feel good and she's had sex in the show, she's pregnant.
Yeah. Women in television shows do not throw up unless they have a baby in their belly.
It's true. It's just common fact. Yeah. Okay, so the next morning we see everyone is gathered in the Cohen's kitchen and Julie and Caleb, they still haven't decided where they're getting married, yet they've already sent out invitations. This really bothers me.
Yeah.
Because everyone had the invitations and they're like, everyone's getting married in 2 weeks.
TBD.
But it doesn't say on there where they're getting married.
TBD.
And then they're trying to decide and they have all of these options. And Caleb doesn't even care. He cancels breakfast with Kiki because he says, I forget what's going on, but he has to go and get work done. And she's like,
he's playing
but that's
the girls
where we're
against each other, right?
Yes.
Like he says he can't.
And here's the deal. Scott, if you're going to play girls against each other, don't put them both in the same room.
Yeah, really just advice number one, keep them in different rooms. Mm-hmm. Like, haven't you ever seen a sitcom in which you try to date 2 women at the same time? You got to keep them in different rooms.
You got to keep them separated.
I was about to make the same damn joke. I'm so mad.
That's what it's called, marriage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anyway, the best part of this entire conversation, other than the fact that the women get pinned on each other, is Sandy.
Of course, the best part of any conversation on the show is always
let's just
Sandy.
go over. We've got some nicknames in the show.
What are they?
We have Kiki for Kirsten, given by Caleb. We have Juju for Julie, given by Caleb.
I'm still not a fan of that one.
And then we have KK for Caleb, given by the Sandy Cohen.
Sandy's eyebrows just come up with great nicknames constantly.
KK, what are you doing? What are you doing when one woman says that you're going to be at the office and the other one says that you're planning the wedding? What are you doing, KK?
What he's doing, KK, is going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Which he says is for he doesn't ever say bachelor party.
No, and he's not lying. It's for a business.
He's going for business, and they say, no, you're going for a bachelor party. No, it's just a gathering of friends. We find out there's some really seedy, shady shit going on here later. But
gathering of one friend.
Basically, everyone else is like, what?
Yeah.
The Vegas? And that's when we start using the article here where everyone's like, Sandy loves the Vegas. And Seth is really excited because he loves the idea of the Vegas, even though he's never been because he's a child. And I've been to Vegas. I think I was 15 years old the first time I went to Vegas. You know what sucks?
Going when
Vegas
you're not
under
21.
It's not fun.
I mean, everybody knows
Let me
that.
just make that clear to you. If you are under 21 and are thinking of going to Las Vegas, don't do it. It's not fun. And like there are some hotels that don't even like you not even being on the casino floor. Like the Bellagio doesn't even want you in the hotel. They don't want you there. They don't want
That's
children.
why they have to stay at the Hard Rock.
Yeah. Well,
Because it's a children's
also,
hotel.
I think because the Hard Rock gave them a whole bunch of money.
That's probably true. So at the end of the conversation, they've all decided that the boys are going to the Vegas and Kiki's going to take care of Teresa.
Hooray.
TT.
No. We're not doing that.
Kiki's taking care of TT.
We're not doing it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. So Gigi is buying a beachfront property.
That doesn't make any sense. No one's going to know who Gigi
Jim
is.
Jim?
Jimmy.
Jim. So Jim
Cooper.
Jim is buying a beachfront property with the half of his money that he earned from the restaurant.
Which again, I have to say, to go back to the amount of money it is, I don't know if he can afford that.
For a beachfront.
I don't think it's in Newport Beach. I don't think it's enough for beachfront property in Newport. But I mean, the big thing is that he's buying this house for him and his daughter, right? I think that's one of the big elements that gets revealed in this episode is the deal that Marissa had with Caleb. And Marissa still has not told her father that she's not going to live with him. So he's moving forward. And I think I'm kind of pissed at Marissa here because, correct me if I'm wrong, no, she doesn't know he's buying the house yet.
No.
She learns that later. Okay, good. I cannot be mad at her. Because if he had said, I'm buying a house, and then she doesn't say anything to him, that's fucked up.
But it's really important that Jimmy is buying a house in this episode because
Why
we
is that?
learned through his real estate agent that Caleb is going to be reselling the restaurant in order to make more money for an outdoor mall that Robert Campbell is trying to build.
Yeah, wow. It's almost as if this was all part of a secret evil plan of Caleb the whole time.
Evil KK.
You know what my problem with this, though, is? They made a huge deal about how expensive they were getting the property for like he was going above and beyond what was necessary to give them money for this property. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you fucked us on the thing to lowball us on to make it cheaper to buy the property from us. Like, you can't, like, do you remember what you said last week, show? Do you remember?
It doesn't remember.
No.
And you know who doesn't remember to tell her dad that she's going to not be moving in with him? Marissa.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing at that?
Because your attempts at transitions are always adorable.
I'm just going to stop.
No, I said they're adorable.
I don't like them.
I laughed at
try,
them.
and
The
you
point
make
of the
fun
transition
of
is to make
me.
people laugh. I laughed. I am saying you're doing a good job.
Ha ha.
That's not how I laughed. I actually laughed.
Well, Marissa didn't tell her dad that she's moving in with her mom.
Are you going to be sad for the rest of the episode?
No.
But Marissa does learn from Ryan that her dad and he are both going to the Vegas. And I don't know how she feels about it. So, how do you think she feels? Is she trusting of the Ryan?
Well, because he says that she is his girlfriend. Yes. She is trusting.
Yes, that's the thing.
Because that is, again, a DTR at this point in the...
Yeah, they DTR'd and then he went to the Vegas. So, but he's worried about Teresa. He doesn't want to go at first, right? So he's worried about Teresa and he's like, I can't leave Teresa. And in the back of my head, I'm like, what are you going to do?
You're thinking
for
about the
her?
same thing, too, that Marissa's thinking. Like, Can't leave Teresa. Can't leave me. I'm your girlfriend. Hello.
What are you gonna do for Teresa this weekend that your presence here is necessary? But Marissa smartly is like, hey, I'll hang out with her and take care of her, which I don't think she needs, but I'll do it for you.
Yeah, because any friend that is a friend of Ryan is a friend of Marissa's.
Yeah.
A plus B, or what is it? A plus B equals C.
What are you doing?
What's that? I forget what it is.
The Pythagorean theorem?
No, I know that. A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Uh-huh.
But there's that thing where it's like, if A plus B equals C.
You talking about the transitive property?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what that is?
I'm so confused. I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know who doesn't get what somebody means?
Oh my God, Elise.
Kiki and Juju don't get what each other's idea is of a bachelorette party.
This is kind of weird to me. I mean, like Julie has decided that Caleb is going to Vegas and they're going to get so many strippers. They're going to have so many strippers in Vegas, and therefore she has to get a bunch of strippers. And she has this entire conversation with Kirsten about just how many fucking strippers they're going to get.
Full frontal male strippers.
Full frontal male strippers. I want like 40 of them. I want their dicks flopping around everywhere. They better flop. If I don't see no flopping dicks, I'm going to be real mad.
And Kiki's my kind of girl where she's like, I thought that we just have this smart, sophisticated thing where we just invite some people over and have some drinks. And I'm like, yes, Kirsten, please invite me over.
Well, it's funny because like,
but I really am.
Julie has been fighting for this image of being like the classy, sophisticated rich lady, right? She's not the girl from Riverside. She's the classy one. That was the whole thing with her sister the last episode. Her sister would be the one that'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, strippers. And she would be the one that'd be classy. But now she's like, fuck yeah, strippers. Which, I mean, I don't have anything against. You want to see dicks flopping around? Knock yourself out. But not with the dicks. Don't knock yourself out with the dicks.
That would be gross and hurt.
But the point is, she wants some strippers, and she's heard from Todd in accounting
about a place called the Petting Zoo.
You don't know where the pets have been. What is the implication of that? What is the implication of you don't know where the pets have been? Have they been on the dicks? Is that like, what are we saying?
No,
here?
there are no pets. The people are the pets, babe.
I know, but the quote, you don't know where the pets have been.
That's what Kirsten said. I don't want a pet. You don't know where the pets have been.
They've been hanging from dudes. That's where they've been.
Oh, Kirsten. A girl after my own heart.
Yeah, I totally felt the Kirsten in you in this moment. She's like, I just wanted a quiet party, drink some wine, watch some television.
And so they've decided that there's going to be one little stripper, no Chippendales, and not little.
Oh, like his dick size.
Yeah. That's what they mean.
I got it.
Yeah.
Why no Chippendales? What's wrong with Chippendales?
They don't actually strip.
Oh, well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
What's the point if there's no dick? I don't know. Dicks are weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is because I'm just a straight man. But like the idea of like, oh look, it's a penis. Cool.
Sorry, I'm just laughing over here. You just can't hear it because that's what happens when I laugh really hard.
Anyway, Elise, let's move on to the next scene.
Ooh, okay, what's that scene?
Seth tells Summer he's going to the Vegas. And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. You don't care, right? Because we're not talking to me. Although they are still technically boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
Technically speaking, they are still boyfriend and girlfriend. We have not had the official breakup.
Yeah, but she doesn't know what to do. And they kind of rehash the conversation they had last week where Seth is like, I don't want you to care what your dad thinks. Like, you should care about what I think. You should care about us more than you care about what your dad thinks. This shouldn't break you up. I know you care about your dad. I care about you a lot. And he's like, that's obviously not enough for you. And he kind of storms off. And we get this Rachel Bilson like look longingly after him, like where she like No, she's not like, she's like, she feels bad. I
No,
think
it's
she's
like that.
no.
No,
it
she
is
does.
not. No.
It does. She has a slight.
I think
Look.
you don't like her because you feel
No, I
threatened
love
by her.
Summer. I love Summer. I love Summer because Summer and I are one.
I don't think she gives a look. I think she gives a look.
Oh, but,
Okay, stop
look.
it. Stop it.
okay. Well,
So you
yeah.
wrote on the script here worst girlfriend moments. Is that because of the look? You felt that the look made her a bad girlfriend, or just this general?
Just the general way that she's treating him still.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we talked about this last week. I get this being a difficult decision, like a difficult thing for her to deal with, but you gotta
Well, and here's the deal.
make up your mind.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, if you want to say, no, I don't care what my dad thinks and I want to be with you, then you got to suck it up and you got to go with your decision and you have to be the best girlfriend ever that you've been before. And if not, and you don't want to do that, then don't string him along
Yeah.
and not talk to him.
No strings.
And be awful. Like, that's my problem with Summer in this instance.
Yeah, there's no Pinocchio going on here. He's a real boy.
Yeah.
So Teresa picked up another shift at the bakery to make more money because she's going to Atlanta to stay with her cousin. So basically, Ryan comes over and says, "Hey, I thought we were going to hang out this afternoon," which is
Yeah. That's when he wants to hang out with her.
no, but he established it in the first scene that he was going to, and then he comes say, "Hey, let's hang out," and she's like, "Actually, I picked up another shift at the bakery."
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I was right. I'm always right. You need to learn this, Elise. Anyway, so she needs to pick up more shifts at the bakery because she needs extra money. We know because she's pregnant. But she says because she's heading to Atlanta, she's going to stay with her cousin. She'll get somewhere to stay as long as
She pays her
own way.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan wants to give her the money for this. She won't take it, but says she needs about $2,000.
Which is her way to say, hey, I need $2,000, but you don't need to give me $2,000. But if you wanted to come up with the amount of money that I need, it's $2,000.
I feel like sometimes the show forgets that these families are like super fucking rich. Like, I don't know. I feel like Seth Cohen would probably have $2,000. I do not for a minute believe Seth Cohen, the grandson of one of the richest men in this community, only got $1,000 from his bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
I don't. He probably got in reality, he probably got like 50 grand or something absurd.
And the other thing is, you think about Summer, who went to Vegas and just has $500 cash
Just
in her
hanging out
purse.
in her pocket, yeah.
You know, like, she has half of what he got for his entire bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Her dad's a plastic surgeon. She has a credit card with like a $20,000 limit and can just go to an ATM and just get like
whatever
10 grand if she wanted to. Yeah. I mean, for me, $2,000 would be like, fuck. I gotta hold on. We gotta figure
save
some stuff
for
out
a little bit of time.
But for them, that's this weird cognitive dissonance that I think the show sometimes has, and I don't know if you've noticed that too, where like sometimes it's very clear that these people are very well off, they're very rich, they're dealing in multi-million-dollar deals, they live in lavish houses, and the show paints this very broad difference between Newport and Chino, and then sometimes they're just teenagers who can't scrounge up no monies.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird.
And Seth, Ryan, and Marissa are trying to get as much money as they can for Teresa because they're going to make Teresa's problem their problem. So they go to the Vegas. We find out Ryan has evidently done this whole like card counting thing,
And
which he's like, I haven't done card counting in years.
Well, first of all, the plan to take your $1,000 and turn it into $2,000 by gambling in Vegas is the dumbest plan in the world because they just act like we'll just do that. We'll just do it. First of all, we're 16. We learn that they have fake IDs, though, right? They have just the never before established fake IDs that Seth has for both Ryan and him. But yeah, the other thing that's weird is they introduced this idea that Ryan is like a card shark that is super good at card counting. And the way they introduce it, I don't know if maybe I just missed it. They introduce it like it's a known fact already. And they're like, whoa, Ryan, you'll get to stretch your card counting skills again. And it's like, did the show ever establish that he had those? Maybe.
No.
Like there was a casino night, but I don't remember him participating.
He not ever established.
Yeah.
And you know what else isn't established?
What?
How does Seth get fake IDs?
Fuck if I know. You know how
Did
much
he make them for himself?
I don't know. Maybe that's why he only has $1,000 left in his bar mitzvah money, because he spent the other 20 grand on fake IDs that are good enough to fake Vegas casinos, which are some of the most strict places in the world.
So anyways, the Ryan is going to be counting cards and the boys are going to be going to the Vegas while Marissa takes care of the Teresa.
Which again, it's like 2 days.
And the baby.
And the baby, yeah. The unknown
We can't
baby.
forget about the baby.
The tomb of the unknown baby.
Yes. So all of the guys show up and they are staying at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas.
I'm going to look this up. I don't know if this hotel exists anymore.
Okay. Well, Caleb is really upset because he wanted to stay at the Caesar instead of Ground Zero for aging hipsters like himself, according to Sandy. But Seth is the one that arranged the entire getaway. He reserved the penthouse at the hotel, paid for it with Granddaddy's credit card, and Sandy has never been so proud.
So Seth, the child, booked a hotel room at a Vegas casino using his father's credit card.
Grandfather's, yes.
His grandfather's credit card.
How does he have access to his grandfather's credit card? I don't know.
And if he does, why doesn't he just take $2,000?
I've never had access to my grandparents' credit cards.
I think Caleb Nickel is rich enough to where he probably would not notice $2,000 missing from his checking account.
That's true. And if it were a way to get Teresa out of the hair of his daughter, I'm sure he'd be all for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, important update on the Hard Rock Hotel
Is
Vegas.
it still there?
It's closed. It is apparently undergoing renovations. So we cannot stay there right now. I am looking at a picture of it, and it looks nothing like it did on the show.
The episode.
So I don't know if that's this is an image of what it's going to look like after renovations. I don't know if they just made it up. I don't know. They definitely were not.
I'm sorry.
They definitely were not on location in Vegas for this episode.
Okay. Well, I hope that whenever they do the renovations, they still keep the bowling alley that's in the room that was in the penthouse for all the boys, because that was a nice touch. Everyone thought that the hotel room, except for Caleb, was wonderful. Caleb just thought it was a big frat boy penthouse, but
He's right.
Jimmy loved it.
Jimmy loved it. Sandy loves it. Seth and Ryan love it. The bowling alley is cool.
Yeah. Seth and Ryan don't love, though, that they found out that in order to take a tour around the hotel, they would have to use their fake IDs. And if they get caught with the fake IDs, then they are not allowed on the hotel premises anymore. And they love the hotel so much that they won't use the fake IDs.
Yeah. And then Seth is like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I don't want to get thrown out of the hotel. Oh, I don't know, man. There's like 7,000 casinos in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Maybe go to one of those.
So they're going to go to one of those while Caleb is going to meet with Robert Campbell. And that's when Sandy asks Caleb what he's going to do with the restaurant.
Oh, and what does he say?
He doesn't really have a plan for it, but Caleb learns during this conversation that Jimmy's going to be buying a house. And Caleb thinks that's strange because, you know, according to Caleb, Marissa's going to move in with them, which is news to Sandy.
Yeah, the last time I talked to Marissa, she was moving in with us after the wedding. And that sets... Caleb has eyebrow powers. It's like spider sense, but in his eyebrows.
Sandy?
Yeah, Sandy. Yeah. And so they immediately start tingling. And he's like, something's fishy here.
All the hairs stand straight
all the hairs
up.
just on his eyebrows, though. All the hairs in his eyebrows stand straight up. And he's like, meow, 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 detecting.
But then they all point
bullshit.
to Caleb because they know that that's where the lies are coming from.
Yep.
Yeah. So cut back to Newport. Marissa, Summer, and Haley are all watching the Valley Marathon while the boys are in the Vegas. And they all, sitting on the couch, come together because Summer's dad doesn't like her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Marissa's mom doesn't like her boyfriend. And Haley's dad doesn't like her boyfriend.
Yeah, I mean, the difference here, though, is one of these three people is a full-grown adult. And
Yes.
the other two are children.
Yes.
And the full-grown adult, Haley, is like, nah, you don't understand. The fucking is so much better when your father doesn't approve of it. She's talking to the daughter of the man she's having sex with.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
I don't think that that's a wise move, Haley.
No.
Yeah. So Kirsten comes over to happily interrupt this conversation with all of the girls. And Kirsten asks if Haley can use her stripper connections in order to help throw Julie's bachelorette party.
Yeah, because
Which
if you work in a strip club,
Yes.
you know all strippers.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew that.
it does make Haley upset because she doesn't like Julie and the fact that Julie has married Caleb or is going to marry Caleb for his money. And she says that she's going to have married Jimmy for his money. Yet you pointed out as we were watching the show, it wasn't that she was marrying Jimmy for the money. It was because Jimmy knocked her up.
Yeah, I mean, she might have like slept with him for his money, but
Yeah.
they had an oopsies.
Yeah. They had the oopsies, Marissa.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like this show is introducing this concept of. I think like we knew this, but the show hadn't really harped on it that Haley is against this marriage. But she's in charge of getting the strippers for the party.
Good job, Haley.
Yep.
Okay. So,
They're at
Seth.
a pool.
yeah.
They're at a pool
Yeah.
in Vegas in the Hard Rock Hotel, one of
Yeah.
the amazing pools that look
Yeah.
like the beach.
And he doesn't miss summer.
No, he loves the Vegas. He loves
Yeah.
the Vegas so much.
Yeah.
And he loves that there's all these beautiful women around and he can just walk up to any of them and just start talking.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he can't do that because that's actually very scary, and I can confirm that. That's very scary. I don't like
Yeah.
doing it. I'd never have to do it again, and I'm very happy for that.
But you know what the women can do?
What?
They can walk right up to the men and just kiss the man.
Yeah. Hey, if there's any young men out there listening to this show, let me just give you a piece of advice. Women generally do not just walk up to you and kiss you. Okay? So if you're in Las Vegas, for example, and a woman just walks up to you and kisses you on the face, she's a prostitute.
But if you're in Colorado, she's not.
Well, okay. So the exception to this rule, of course, is my wife, who just randomly walked up to a man and kissed it. This is before me, obviously. It was the rough and tumble days of single Elise.
Ah, yes. Those days.
I never got to see them.
Ah, yes. No.
No, I didn't.
Sometimes so.
She comes out every so often. Get a little wasty. Get a little drunk.
Anyways, so the woman comes up to Seth and just kisses him, offers to buy the boys a drink, and then, hey, I have to kiss you again.
Yeah.
Seth's all about this, and evidently, she confirms that Seth is an amazing kisser.
I don't believe that. That's bullshit. She's a prostitute. She's lying to him because she wants his money.
That's true. But she doesn't ask for any of his money yet.
Not
She's
yet.
just using him.
It's called tricking them.
Yeah. So Summer calls Seth in the middle of this entire exchange.
She's ready to apologize.
Yes. And she hears that Seth is just kissing random girls. And all Summer wants to do is go down there and kick Seth's ass
Which
because
is fair.
she's done.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And that's actually what she ends up doing.
Yeah.
But then the girl hears that they're looking for a place to... I don't even know this woman's name. Do you remember her name?
No, I don't. That's why I didn't put her name down
Yeah.
or anything. I couldn't remember it. And I watched it twice.
Awkward.
Didn't ever pick it up.
Yeah. So she hears that they're looking for a place to make some money, and she knows about a high-stakes poker game that they can buy into, which, guys, that's real dumb. That's real dumb what you're doing there. Like, this was a dumb plan to begin with. Now you're going to go play poker with a bunch of scary adult strangers that some random chick at a pool brought you to? This is real dumb.
Yeah. But they go nonetheless. And while they're walking towards that game, we are walking to find out what Sandy and Jimmy are doing.
This is not your best work,
It's
babe.
not. It was real bad. So Sandy and Jimmy are still questioning if Caleb is actually here for his bachelor party. And that's when Sandy tells Jimmy that Marissa's moving in with Caleb and Julie, which is
Ooh.
news to Jimmy.
And Jimmy is not happy about that at all.
Well, yeah, because he's about to buy this new house for Marissa and
Yeah.
him. And now he doesn't need to.
But then we cut back to the whirlwind events at Newport Beach, where Marissa and Teresa are just sitting on a kitchen table, just talking to each other.
And here's the deal, Scott. Telltale signs in movies. Number 1, the girl throws up.
Yeah.
Number 2, she doesn't eat fish. Number 3, she doesn't drink alcohol.
Yeah. And it's just this amazing coincidence that Marissa says, let's get a couple drinks and
Have some
have
sushi.
some sushi.
Oh, you can't? What are you? Pregnant?
Oops.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, we learned that Marissa is the only person that Teresa has told. She hasn't told Eddie. She hasn't told any of the Coopers or the Cohens. She hasn't told Ryan, and she barely doesn't even have money to get to Atlanta, so she certainly doesn't have money for the baby, and she doesn't know what she's gonna do. And this is the moment where she says she doesn't know if it's Eddie's baby, which of course means it might be Ryan's child.
But it's okay because Marissa's promised she's going to keep it a secret.
Yeah, of course. Of course. She's not going to tell anyone ever.
No.
Ever. Marissa is so good at secrets.
She is.
Like if I had to list her skills on like a CV, secrets, number one.
Secrets are no fun unless you are a part of one. She's a part of a
I
lot.
don't think she'd write that though.
Yeah. Well, Ryan and Seth are going to go play Texas Hold'em at that underground
Just a bunch of
game.
creepy looking dudes that'll probably stab you if you take their money, especially if you're going to be counting cards.
Ryan, evidently you can do that.
I mean, like, you can't. I mean, I don't think you can really count cards in poker.
No,
you can't.
You can't.
So the whole counting cards thing was an unnecessary addition because he's not playing blackjack. He's going to play Texas Hold'em instead.
Yeah. So it's a $250 buy-in, and Ryan knows how to play poker even though it's been a while. And Seth just
Chino stuff.
Yeah, he says, "You know what, Ryan? I love the Vegas. It's time to see if the Vegas loves me." And he's just going to place all his money and all his chips on the Ryan.
Yep. So he gives all his bar mitzvah money to Ryan, and then we go. We go.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Seth drinking just
out of a shot glass with a straw, probably orange juice.
I mean, it's really funny. I love it, but it's also like just like they went for the joke again at two ridiculous levels.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Ryan is like kicking ass. He's winning. He wins all the money they need.
He does.
He has the $2,000 that Teresa needs and the $1,000 that Seth gave him. So he's up $2,000, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And he decides he wants to stop. Seth wants to keep going because he wants the Ryan and Seth go to Europe money, but Ryan has to stop because the guy that's in the trucker hat is going to beat him up.
Yeah, he looks very mad.
Yeah. Because he is probably the one that was supposed to win the game.
I think my favorite line in this entire episode is when Seth says, "Why would you ever quit when you're ahead?"
Oh, Seth.
Aren't you supposed to be smart, Seth?
So he gets upset because not only does he want to stay to continue to win more money, but he wants to stay because he feels like he's really hitting it off with this girl who he hasn't been spending any time with because he's been sipping out of his own little shot glass sippy cup.
And
so,
like, I know that they need to do this to advance the plot, to do the whole prostitute thing.
Yeah.
But this is fucked up, Seth. You are still in a relationship. Like, I know you two are on the rocks, but you yourself established earlier in this episode that she's still your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she called you clearly trying to patch things up with you when you were making out with another girl.
Yeah.
So, like, I can see them getting, like, oopsed into this relationship with these women that they don't realize is because they're young and stupid. But I think that line of, like, I'm really hitting it off with this girl and I want to see where things going is really disgusting and piggy. Like, I like, Summer's not great in this episode, but once again, Seth is just like, bah.
Yeah. Bah. Well, Seth does invite all those ladies over to the hotel room, and we then find Julie at her bachelorette party. She can't wait until the strippers get here, and she's disappointed whenever Haley comes to the door after the doorbell rings because Julie doesn't like Haley. But as soon as Haley comes in, she's talking about how she sees these firemen outside with this fire truck. Which obviously means the strippers are coming through and they show up. And Kirsten is slightly upset because it's more than one. Haley was supposed to just get one, and there is a fire truck full.
Well, not a real fire truck, right?
No, I'm sure it's a fake fire truck.
What's a fake fire truck?
It's a fire truck that doesn't actually respond to calls. So it's a real fire truck.
Can you just buy a fire truck?
Hey, you could probably buy a used fire truck.
Google used fire truck.
So Sandy calls Kirsten and shares what he finds out about Caleb, but Kirsten just doesn't think that her dad would do that. Yet her dad would do that. Everybody knows it except for Kirsten.
Babe, you can buy used fire trucks.
Yeah, I told you could.
Look, here's a a 2018 Sinotruck 6x4 60-inch
How much is it?
snorkel. It's only $150,000.
I thought it might have been more expensive. That's not too bad.
We should get a used fire truck.
What would we do with a used fire truck?
I don't know. Get some strippers and toss them on it. Let's start our own stripper business.
That'd be a lucrative business.
What you say?
What you strip?
While I take my clothes off.
What you gonna take off?
Flap your dick around.
Okay, so Jimmy calls Marissa to check in, but she just doesn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ryan accidentally spills the beans about the fact that Marissa's going to live with Caleb and Julie instead of Jimmy.
Yeah, not only does he spill the beans, he spills the beans about the deal.
Yeah,
which was
he just spills
really
all the
fucking
beans.
stupid of
all
you,
the
Ryan.
beans, Ryan.
Yeah,
bad job.
So now Jimmy not only does Jimmy know that his daughter's not living with him, he knows that his daughter was. I don't think he knows the full scope of the blackmail, but knows that his daughter was convinced to do this via Caleb.
Yeah. So Summer shows up at Vegas while Seth is macking on a girl in a bathing suit in the penthouse. Poor timing, yes.
I have my hand raised.
Yes,
I have
Scott.
a very important question.
Yes.
How did Summer know which hotel they were at and which room they were in? And how
Now,
did...
which hotel, I don't know. But you did see when she went up to the desk and she was like, Cohen, room. Which
I don't
is
think
against
they
the
would
law.
give
They
you that
wouldn't do that.
information.
But, who's to say she didn't have more money in her purse?
She is Summer. She
is.
She gets shit done.
Hello, sunshine. Yep. Anyways. So she's real upset and she knows. She says, get away from him, whore. And then when we find out that the girl went to college, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, skank. I love Summer.
But then we find out their pimp walks in the door and says, hey, everybody, just we thought we'd pay up front on this one. They're all hookers. They've paid for them for the entire night, and they owe $5,000.
Which is $2,000 more than what they have.
Yeah.
So Seth now hates the Vegas.
Seth does not like the Vegas. So is she a prostitute and also attending UNLV?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how you have to pay for college sometimes.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience, at
No,
least.
not speaking from experience. Anyways, Seth only we find out at this point in time, whenever Summer's upset that, whore boy called all these strippers
They're
to the
fighting
penthouse,
back and forth, right? They're having
that he only tried so hard at the lunch with her dad because he cares that much about her and he knows how important it was, and so he just wanted it to be perfect.
Yeah, and he fucked it up because
Yeah.
he's a goofy dude.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's like okay with that, and she realizes. I mean, like she was already at the place where she was ready to say she overreacted before she called. I gotta say, she handles the whole prostitutes thing pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah.
I don't know if you showed up at my hotel in Vegas and I had 6 hookers in my room, you would buy we didn't know they were hookers.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
So, I mean, I guess good on her. Maybe she should be more angry about that. I don't know.
But you're also more street smart than Seth is.
I mean,
Therefore.
am I
Yeah.
street
Yeah.
smart?
So Julie's pretty street smart, and she hits it off with one of the strippers at her party who wants her to leave with him.
And she's like,
Sure, why not?
sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Julie sucks. I hate
Julie's
Julie.
awful. But that's when Julie finds out that that's when Julie, finds out that Haley is the one that set up all of the strippers. And so Julie thinks that this is part of Haley's master plan in order to get one of the strippers to have Julie sleep with him.
And then tell Caleb, and then wedding's off.
Yeah.
So she confronts Haley about this, and Haley's like, no, because I never would think you'd stoop low enough to sleep with someone so poor. The show do you think Haley set this up?
No.
Or do you think the guy was just really just like, I want to fuck this
I
chick?
think the guy was just really like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Isn't that what you gather?
I did.
Yeah.
It just makes me hate Julie even more.
But Haley is pretty upset about the conversations, how it's going. She says that Cameron might be a stripper, but you're a whore, Julie.
A lot of the word whore being tossed around.
And then there's a cat fight in the pool because, duh.
Of course. You cannot have a pool and 2 women angry at each other without throwing themselves into the
Without
pool.
wet clothes in a pool.
And yeah, that's great.
So Sandy's form of a cat fight is a
go
little
back
bit
to-
different,
back
and it's
to
over
Vegas.
dinner, and it's more just with his sharp words, where Sandy interrupts
And
his
eyebrows.
Caleb's dinner with Robert Campbell while Caleb is trying to sell the Balboa property.
Yeah.
And Sandy spills his own beans that Caleb was the reason that the restaurant didn't take off.
Right.
And that, one of the partners caused them to have to sell the restaurant and then turned around to sell it for more money.
Yeah.
And that now the property is not really going to be for sale because it's going to be caught up in civil litigation for months.
Yeah, so he's going to sue the fuck out of his
Yeah.
father-in-law. This is... I think this does, like, clear something up for me because I never really bought... Like, the whole, like, liquor license thing never made sense to me. Like, I think we even note at the time, we're like, first of all, like doing it, being as bold as you were about the reason for it is illegal. And the fact that Caleb was just somehow magically unable to do anything about it just never came off believable to me. And this makes perfect sense now that like this whole thing was orchestrated by him from the beginning, which is just so cruel because you think back to the episode where like they showed the meatloaf off to the investors and Caleb seemed so genuine and like, you got a great plan here. This is great. I'm going to help you out here. This is awesome.
Well, the development might not have been in the works at that point in time.
That's fair. That is fair. This could have been a new evil plan instead of a long-term evil plan.
Yeah.
Caleb sucks, though.
Yeah,
he and
he's
Julie
not
belong together.
They do. So let's
Sandy
point
is-
it.
Sandy is
Okay, so
having it out
Sandy's
with him.
upset, and then Jimmy walks in, and Jimmy's pissed.
Well, first it
And
seems like
so-
Jimmy's going to walk up and like calm Sandy down, right? It's like Sandy's about to fight him.
Yeah.
And Jimmy walks up and is like, okay. And then he's like, no, let me. And then
Yeah. And Jimmy punches Caleb, which makes Scott really happy because someone got punched on the show and Ryan had nothing to do with
he
it.
was not the punchee or the puncher.
He was in the same city, but no physical action came out of Ryan or was intended for him.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I thought surely with the trucker hat man and with the pimp, Ryan was going to be punching or be punched by someone in this episode, but it don't happen.
No muscle from Ryan.
It's amazing.
But Ryan is at that underground poker game once again, and he is trying to play so that nobody thinks that he is really that good.
Yeah, he's sharking them.
he
so
is.
basically, he intentionally loses all of their money and then asks the hooker, whose name I can't remember, for more money because now he's lulled everyone into a false sense of security. This is like super risky. Like to lose $3,000 with the confidence that now you're just going to magically say, "Oh, I am good at poker again."
Yep.
And you're gonna, but he does, of course, because it's a television show.
And he ends up winning it all back. It's fine.
And he wins the guy's trucker hat.
Yeah, he wins the angry trucker hat guy. So all is well with Ryan. He has all the money that he needs. Summer and Seth are on better terms.
They're back together.
But what happens in the Vegas stays in the Vegas, except for Summer and Seth hopefully continue outside of the Vegas.
Yeah, they get home to the Newport.
Yeah.
And the relationship. And then maybe we'll see Seth round 2 with Papa
Roberts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Roberts.
Yes, Dr. Roberts.
He's a doctor. I need to be respectful. He earned that doctor.
So Sandy comes back. He fills in Kirsten about the bachelor party, and she fills him about the bachelorette party. And Sandy still loves the Vegas, but he loves the Vegas just because that means that he gets to come home to the Kirsten afterwards, and that's sweet.
Oh, that's very sweet. I love those two. I love those two crazy kids. I hope they make it work.
They're sweet. Yeah.
Then we move on to our
People
last
who are not going to make it work.
scene of the episode, which is Ryan going to see Marissa, and she opens the door and she's mad from the very
she's pretty mad.
start, because she thinks that Ryan told Jimmy the truth about why she's leaving. Like she assumes that it's Ryan who told about the plan, and she's right. But Ryan's like, well, he figured it out. It's like, yeah, he figured it out, but like you told him like about the blackmail, so like,
Yeah.
bad on you. But then like Ryan can tell she's more upset than just that. Like something else is bothering her, and he doesn't know what. And then she's like Teresa's pregnant, so she breaks her promise to Teresa. Great, Marissa. And it might not be Eddie's, and she wants to know what's going on with him because apparently Ryan never told Marissa that while they were broken up, he slept with Teresa, which is not like they were broken up. They were like formally broken up. It's not like he cheated on her. But maybe when you get back together, be like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be nice.
Yeah, by the way, while we were in that, I don't know how long it was, a month time where you and I weren't dating, I did sleep with this woman who's now living in our guest room, our pool house.
And it was the woman that you went to go and stay with in Chino.
Yeah, and it's the whole...
She didn't say anything to you either.
Yeah, and well, it's the whole, like, I've been bending over backwards to try to prove to you that, like, a friend of yours is a friend of mine. It would be nice if you told me that you put your penis in this friend.
A friend of yours is your baby mama.
Yeah, and yeah, it could be your kid.
Yeah.
So that is where we leave the episode with this big Ryan now knows about the pregnancy. Marissa is furious with him, and Ryan knows it's going to be his kid. And before we move on to relationship status, I'm going to just jump right into my predictions, which is Ryan's going to do something really, really stupid. You know what Ryan's going to do?
What's he going to do?
Ryan's going to go be a daddy to Teresa's kid. That's what Ryan's going to do.
Why would he do that?
And I think that means Ryan is leaving. I think Ryan's going to leave.
Okay.
Not permanently, of course, but I do think the end of the season would be like, Ryan has left the OC, would be a very dramatic cliffhanger to end the season on.
That could be a dramatic cliffhanger. You are right. And
so that's my prediction.
And we
for
don't want to
Ryan.
leave anyone on dramatic cliffhangers of these relationships, Scott. We want to tell everyone exactly how these relationships shaped out for this episode.
Are you telling me we're about to discuss the status of the relationship?
I'm telling you, rare relationship status. rare.
I think I liked my song better.
What was yours?
I don't remember.
I don't think you had one for
Relationship status.
Again?
Relationship status.
That's good. Okay. So, Scott, we're going to start this week with Coop and Ryan. Last week, Coop and Ryan were at a 7 out of 10. This week, Coop and Ryan are officially boyfriend and girlfriend again, trusting each other enough to encourage each other to have a weekend apart where the boys are in the Vegas and Marissa will hang out with Ryan's friends who are her friends by association. But the tables turn when she doesn't want Ryan's potential baby to be her potential stepchild. Coop and Ryan are in for some rocky waters ahead. They have dropped down to a 4 out of 10 this week, Scott.
Yikes, that's rough. That's very, very rough.
It is rough. How rough was it for Seth and Summer this week, Scott?
Well, last week we gave Seth and Summer a devastating 5 out of 10. This week, Seth and Summer have not officially broken up, but Summer is still ignoring Seth and has time and time again showed that she values what her dad says more than anything Seth has to say. Summer does get upset that Seth went to Vegas and was macking another girl, but ends up helping him with their Vegas troubles. So you kind of just talked about the beginning of where they were and not really the end. They made up at the end. They're back together.
Yeah, they did, kind of.
They made up.
Yep.
But we're still cautiously optimistic. So we're going to bump him up a point. We're going to give him 6 out of 10.
All right, this week we have Sandy and Kirsten Cohen. Last week they were at a 7 out of 10. This week Sandy tells Kirsten about her father's devious plans to cheat Jimmy and Sandy out of more money for the restaurant. She doesn't believe him that her dad could do something like this, but Sandy certainly does. Despite being separated from each other this week, Sandy always loves coming home after a trip to the Vegas. This week they stay at a 7 out of 10.
I think it's interesting that we started this season with Sandy suing the fuck out of his wife's father, and it seems like we're going to end the season on Sandy suing the fuck out of his wife's father. It's all coming full circle, baby.
It is full circle.
Next up, speaking of these people, we have Julie Cooper and Caleb Nickel. Last week, we gave them a 9 out of 10, and we gave them Newport Couple of the Week. The week before their nuptials, the happy couple is celebrating their last week of freedom with bachelor and bachelorette parties. Juju goes a little wild and begins to waver, but ends up staying true to her newfound love, only because she thinks she's being tricked into it.
But still, tricked.
She was definitely gonna bang that stripper.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
100%. So we're gonna bump them down. We're gonna give them an 8 out of 10.
All right, this week Jimmy and Haley. Last week we're at an 8 out of 10, but now Jimmy and Haley are still going strong. Haley even seems to be living/staying with Jimmy. Part of the draw Haley has towards Jimmy is her father's disdain for him. This week we're gonna keep them at an 8 out of 10. Scott.
Yeah, that's good. I think we're gonna not only are we gonna keep them at an 8 out of 10, but we're gonna name Jimmy Cooper and Haley Nickel the couple of the week.
Congratulations, Jimmy and Haley. You are the couple of the week. You have won nothing other than just the title, the couple of the week.
But it's the first time that Jimmy and Haley have won couple of the week.
Oh, way to go.
Congratulations.
All right, Scott,
And
will you finish this
lastly-
out?
Lastly, guess who's back? Back again.
Baby's back. Tell Ryan.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're putting Ryan and Teresa back on the relationship status list. Last week, they were just friends. But this on and off again couple seemed to finally settle in the friends territory before everything changed, and now they might be co-parenting? Teresa's bun in the oven is now causing some strife in Ryan's new were you trying to rhyme here? Teresa's bun in the oven is now causing some strife in Ryan's new life. This week, 5 out of 10.
All right, Scott. So that just about wraps it up for this week. We've already had your predictions.
Yep.
So next week, we're going to be moving on to the season 1 finale, episode 27, The Ties That Bind.
This is the big finale of this 27 episode season. I can't believe they made so many episodes, but we are almost done. This is it. Next week, The Ties That Bind. And that is all the time we have for you this week. If you like this show, you can check it and all the other shows we do over at our website, www.doofmedia.com.
Also consider donating to our Patreon over at patreon.com/doofmedia, where you can support not only our show, but all the other shows put on by Doof Media.
Are you like intentionally trying to say backslash still? It is not a backslash.
No, it's backslash.
It is not a backslash.
Just stop arguing with me and just let me have my backslash.
The problem is if someone is listening to the show and says, oh, do patreon.com/, they're not going to get there. You're crushing me financially. How am I going to bring home all this bacon?
Patreon.com/doofmedia. How about that?
Perfect.
There you go.
Did you like my bacon joke? I brought it back. I brought back the bacon.
Way to go, bacon eater.
Farewell from...
Also, if you happen to be
Leo.
listening via Apple Podcasts, go ahead and drop us a rating and review. Only the 5 stars. That's it.
Farewell from the OC.
Scott.
My wife's mad at me.
Scott, I love you.
My wife's mad at me because I don't like when she says backslash.
Scott, are you going to go watch The Bachelor with me?
No.
Please.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.